Good morning, everybody. Good to be back with you. Good to be back in the studio. And that sounds very warm and personal. And I feel like these videos are very warm and personal. But let's understand that that's really a story, because there's not anybody here that's here with somebody else. There's just you, and you're looking through that pair of glasses, and there's you, and you're looking through this pair of glasses, and it's the same thing, looking through both sets of glasses, both sets of eyes. It's the same thing it's a salmon swimming upstream in Canada, and it's a bear in Wyoming, and it's an antelope in Arizona. There's just one thing, and it's looking through billions and billions of pairs of eyes at the same time. And not only is it looking through these pairs of eyes, but it actually is these pairs of eyes as well. I've been studying the Greeks lately, and they have a concept called logos, and it's wonderful. It is that which, in their eyes, that which not only created this, but which orders this. And we'll just leave creation very vague, because that sounds all personal too, but it's not. It's just a way of talking about something that can't be talked about. And in non-duality, we have to remember that we actually can't talk about this. We can talk at it, we can talk around it, but we can't talk about it. Because there's no it, to talk about it, there's just it. And this is it, and that's it, and this is it. And that's all of it. It came to me this week that what I had always been looking for had been the thing that I had been overlooking. That idea that I had to go somewhere to discover the truth, that a certain experience had to occur in order for me to come to know myself. I mean, let me ask you this: who else would I know? You know, and that's the funny thing about one, is just one of them. But the thing that we're looking for is this. And we're overlooking this in search of a that isn't there. There's only this. And it doesn't mean that there's an only this plus. There's no only this minus. I'd like a little more of this. I'd like a little less of this. I'd like something other than this. That's all imagination. None of that's real. This is what is, and there is no what isn't, other than our imagination, which just creates a big snake pit of what isn't, and that's where we live. Because what we're looking for is already here. What we're looking for is what's obvious. See, the thing is that you've had all the big flashy awakenings that you're waiting to have, because there's just one thing going on. So you don't actually need to have a big flashy awakening through every unit. There was a pretty flashy awakening here, and I wouldn't put that curse on anybody, because my misunderstanding about it was so complete that I actually came away from that believing that that was what enlightenment was, that Fred Davis had at last achieved enlightenment. He had experienced enlightenment, and now he was noticing that it wasn't around. So apparently he lost it, which means that the only course of action that I could take, I never thought of inaction, but the only course of action that I could take was to redouble my efforts to get something back that Fred Davis neither had nor lost ever. Because there's no Fred Davis. There's just you. That's all there is. There's just you. This thing over here will say, well, there's just me. There's nothing other than me. And I'm not talking about Fred Davis. And that's true if I say it. It's true if you say it. But quit looking out there. Quit looking. Have you ever heard that as long as you're seeking, you can't find it? Well, let's look at the options that very obvious statement would leave us with, if it was true. So, if you can't find it by seeking, what do? Do you make a decision? That's it. I'm not going to seek anymore. That's your new practice of seeking. Now you're hoping if I don't do something, then I will achieve enlightenment. It's no better than believing that you have to achieve something to achieve enlightenment. What you're overlooking is that we could say that there is only enlightenment. See, the one that you're waiting to get it, the one that you're waiting to have that certain experience, doesn't exist. They're just you. You've had every splashy awakening that the world has ever known. You woke up through the Jesus unit, you woke up through the Buddha unit, you woke up through the Ramana unit and the Nisargadatta unit and all of the units in between, and because there's nothing but you. And given that there's nothing but you, there's nothing that could have ever woken up but you. But you wake up through different apparent conditioning. And when you do, the experience is different. And you believe that Fred just woke up, which means that awakeness immediately becomes unsatisfactory. Wow, this is unbelievable. I sure feel special now. Good Lord, there's no way to even describe this. So here's what happened when I woke up. We see it, but we just can't. You can't hold it. You cannot hold this. The infinite cannot be held by the finite. It just can't happen. See, this is it. Not the this of yesterday and not the this of tomorrow, because there's no tomorrow and there's no yesterday. There is a Greek god called Janus, or Janus, it's Janus. I don't know. I don't know all my Greek that well. Some of it, a little of it, I know. But that god is a god that faces two ways. He has two faces, so they always picture him looking two ways. And he's looking into the past and he's looking into the future. And where did they get the idea for that god? Were they watching you? They could have been watching me, because that's what I was always doing. I was looking into the past, and usually with regret, sometimes with something softer than that. Looking forward to the future, usually with fear, sometimes with anticipation, which brought about fear. Because what I was looking for, see, Janus is always looking for something other than this. That's what he's doing. He's looking for something other than this, and that's what you're doing. And that's what you've been doing for 5 or 10 or 15 or 50 years. I've worked with you all the way along, at every level possible. You're looking elsewhere. But there's no Fred or Bob or Carol or Susan that is looking elsewhere. There's only this. And there is no elsewhere. And there is no Bob or Carol or Fred or Susan. So given that there's no person here and no person over there, you can see why I say that this may feel personal, but it's not, because there's no person here. And given the fact that there's no person here, you know, there's no way that an imaginary person can wake up. How about that? An imaginary character can't wake up. And that's what you've had all your hopes pinned on for all these years, is that the imaginary Bob or Carol or Fred or Tom or Doc or whatever was going to finally come the day when the character woke up and could see clearly, finally and forever, that there's no character. Can that happen? It can't even happen. So what is it that wakes up then? It's you. It's awakeness itself. This ordinary awareness that's present, that's hearing this voice, that's watching this video, this very common everyday attention. That's it. That's you. Can you find anything outside of your attention right now? And I've had people on YouTube say, "Oh yeah, I know a lot of things outside my attention." Well, how do you know about them? Well, I'm aware of them. It doesn't work, folks. You can't find anything outside of your attention. You will never be able to find anything outside of your attention, because this is not other than your attention. It's not other than actually the vast unfocused field of awareness. That's what this is. And attention is the minute, focused, pointed looker. But it's that attention, it never looks back. And this is where you have to look if you want to find the truth. You can't look out there. You really can't. You know what? I think this is going to do it. This is hard and fast. Thank you very much. I'll see what I can do about another video this week. I've got one in mind. Bye-bye.